For our first cool down exercise, we're going to do head turns. So you're going to take a deep breath in, and you're going to turn your head to the side and slowly to the other side. And you don't want to do this too fast. You want to breathe while you're doing this. And it'll kind of feel like you're on the corner looking for cars. You want to keep your chin level as if you had it on a countertop and you were just turning side to side, keeping that ear over the shoulder, back and forth just a few times. You should feel a gentle stretch through your neck.
Preview.
The next one is going to be a shoulder roll. So you're going to bring your shoulders forward, up, back, and around. So these are very dynamic stretches. You want to warm up or cool down. You can use them for either. In our case here, we're using them as a cool down. And we're just getting those shoulders moving. And this is a really feel-good stretch. So really make those circles as big as you can, breathing with each one. And around. You can do this anytime during the day. Just makes you feel good because we get a lot of tension in our upper neck and shoulders. And of course, we don't want to forget about going the opposite direction and bringing those shoulders around.
Preview.
And you can do them, 10 to 20 times. It doesn't really matter the amount as long as you're doing at least 10 times because you really want to get those muscles to get some blood flow through them. You did a nice long workout, so now we want to get everything cooled down. The next one is going to be a chest stretch. So you're going to take your hands behind your back and you're going to stretch them out back this way. Really think about standing up nice and tall and straight as if you have a string on the top of your head and you're squeezing your shoulder blades together.
Preview.
And your fingers are laced behind your back if you can get them that way. And you're going to drop it down. Take a breath in and do it again. And you can count to 10. That should be good enough. But, with all the rounding forward, we really want to incorporate this stretch throughout the day. And you're going to drop your hands down to your side. The next stretch is going to be bringing your hand across. This can be confusing for some people to get it at first, but you're going to grab above your elbow, so you can start at the shoulder, move the other hand down until it's right above the elbow, and squeeze it in. And you want to make sure that it's not across your throat. It's down just across your chest. This is a great stretch for the back of your shoulder and your tricep. If this arm is straight, that adds a little additional stretch, and it's like as if you were going to shake somebody's hand. Nice and tall and straight, and breathing way down into the belly.
Preview.
And then as you're transitioning out of this stretch, you can actually get back into that chest stretch, bringing the arms back.
Preview.
Then you're going to bring this arm across, grabbing on above the elbow again. You can slide it down and squeeze it in nice and tall. Get the head into place, head over the shoulder, and breathing. And again, think about shaking somebody's hand. And you're just breathing and stretching. Now, because so many of these stretches are static stretches, meaning that they're just holding a pose, these are more appropriate for your cool down versus your warm-up. The warm-up should be more dynamic movement. And you can go back into that chest stretch. And you're going to go ahead and drop your hands to the side, and you're going to turn your thumbs outward. So you're turning them towards the back of the room, and you're going to lift up. You should feel this all through the front part of your arms and through the upper part of your back. And down. We can do a couple repetitions of this. And if you can't raise your arms up real high, you can also turn them just back and forth this way. And that still gets that whole area. Continue to breathe. The next stretch is going to be a side bend. So you're going to reach way up and you're going to take it to the side. When doing a side bend, you want to pretend like there's actually a little fulcrum point or button in the middle of your chest, and you're just bending around a barrel. You don't want to collapse down into the side. You want this straight over the head. You don't want to come forward or too far back. Try to keep that arm up over your crown, and you can use this opposite hand as a support. Continue to breathe. This is an easy one to hold your breath on, so you want to keep that breath. You're going to reach up, and remembering that center, bending around that center, stretching long. Hand is supporting you. Keep that hand over that upper arm over your ear and stretching long. And again, you should feel like you're nice and stable, that the stretch is comfortable and not hurting. Continue to breathe. Don't hold your breath. Stretch long and reaching back up. You can add a couple of extra shoulder rolls in there. The next exercise we're going to do is a quadriceps stretch. On this one, you may need something to hang on to, so you can have a chair available. I'm going to be doing it without, but know that that's an acceptable variation. You're going to bring your hand up. Now you can take a hold of your pant leg, your sock, your shoe, or your ankle, and you're just going to stretch out that quadricep. Those are the 4 muscles in the front of your leg, and when you bend your knee, it puts a really good stretch on them. Avoid bringing your leg out to the side. Ideally, you want that knee pointed downward. And continuing to breathe. Feeling a good stretch, nice and tall and straight. Try not to hike up that hip. And we're going to go to the other leg. Take a breath in. You're going to hang on to your chair or the countertop, and you're going to bring your other leg underneath you, keeping your knees lined up, nice and tall and straight, belly in, like a string on the top of your head. And if you're using this as part of your little balance challenge, you're going to feel your ankle really working to keep you stable.
Preview.
And breathing.
Preview.
Keep those knees together and go ahead and let that leg drop. Next, we're going to do our hamstring stretch. So we'll bring the leg out in front. We're going to bend one leg. The other leg is going to be straight. Foot is out. Toe is towards the ceiling. And you're going to come forward, stretching out those 3 muscles in the back. And you're just going to stretch out those muscles behind the back of your legs. It doesn't take very much because most people are pretty tight in their hamstrings. And you can come up out of there and do it again. Bring it back, hinging right here. It's like a fold should be here. Collarbones are up, head is in a good place, and you can feel that additional stretch by bringing that toe back.
Preview.
And we're breathing. Coming out of it, I'm just going to switch directions for you. Bring that leg out, toe is up, and keeping those hips straight, creasing here at the hips, toe is up, and we're just going to go ahead and stretch out that leg. Collarbones are up, head is in a good place, and breathing. You want to keep your head straight. Try not to round forward here. You want to keep back straight. And if you would like, try to squeeze your shoulder blades together so that you get a really good stretch through the whole back side of the body. Come up slightly and back down. You can always reposition if you need to. This again may have a little bit of a balance challenge to it. You can hang on to a chair with this anytime you're stretching out your lower limbs. There's always a risk of losing your balance. You're going to come out of it. Every time you come out of a stretch, you want to take a nice deep breath. For our next exercise, we're going to go down to the mat in a half kneeling position. And this is a lunge stretch or a hurdle stretch. And so you're going to have one knee straight down and the other leg straight out in front. And you want to lean slightly forward and tuck your hips underneath. You can also turn your foot underneath like this for an additional stretch, or have it flat on the ground. You can have both hands on your knees, or you can have your hands on top of a foam roller. There's lots of different variations that you can do with your hands. But the main thing is getting this long muscle that's attached from the front to the back of your spine, which is your hip flexors or your iliopsoas. So you really want to stretch that muscle out, because it's one of the main muscles that gets tight and causes us to round forward. So we really want to take time with this exercise. You can come out of it, back out of it just a little bit, and then push back into it. And keep thinking about keeping those hips long and down and really pulled up in front. And we're going to breathe a couple times and just really enjoy this stretch. It's one that you will feel more than a lot of the others. And then you're going to come out of it slowly, and you're going to turn around or just change legs. With that leg down, take your time changing legs. This is your cool down, so you don't have to rush through anything. And you're just going to breathe, get that leg behind you, push your hips underneath, nice and tall and straight, looking straight ahead, and getting into that stretch. Again, you're going to feel quite a big stretch there. So it's counteracting a whole day of sitting in a chair, walking forward. All of the things that cause us to swing our leg forward will also tighten these muscles. And breathing.
Preview.
And you're going to come out of it slightly and back in. Think about bending the hips downward and lengthening up. When you're trying to figure out what you should do with your posture, think about putting your thumbs in your ears and just pulling up, or thinking of a string on top of your head pulling you up.
Preview.
Now we're going to bend, crease here at the hip, sit bones go behind you, and we're going to go ahead and stand back up, and we're going to work on our hands. So we're going to start out by just taking a hold of the fingertips and bending them backwards. And you also can get the forearm and the elbow, everything, by bending them backwards. And if you don't have the same flexibility as I do, that's okay. Everybody has their level of flexibility. And switch. You're going to really stretch it out. And breathing. The next hand stretch is you're going to have your hands face up, and you're going to curl only that first knuckle in. And the first couple of times you do this, it's really difficult to do because you're going to want to just do this. But we're really just trying to work this joint right here. So I call it the claw. It's really kind of fun, but after doing a few of these, you will see why you do them, because we become really weak in this ability to do this, and yet it's so important. The next exercise is, I call it the binoculars, so it's like forming two C's. Now, our thumb, as it becomes weak, or if you have some arthritis in this joint, you're going to have a tendency to do this versus this. So you're going to form C without actually touching. You're just going to come in and hold, open, hold, and open. Good. Those are really important. And one last exercise is a little teepee, where you're actually just bending these little joints right here, and you will be amazed at the temptation. I don't know if you can see here, but that temptation is to do this. And you want to keep these knuckles straight and teepee up just the middle joint. And you can do this on a tabletop. You can do this all day long. It's really good for your hands. And these are indicated for so many different hand problems, but it's especially good for Parkinson's. So that concludes the cool down portion, and there's so many other great stretches that I hope that you investigate. Thanks a lot, and continue to breathe and have a great day.